Los Angeles Lakers, Vicky, have now confirmed that basketball legend LeBron James has informed them he is going to be taking his talents elsewhere next season.
LeBron James has informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he is moving on. He told the Lakers that they can move on with their business this offseason because he will be playing his 24th NBA season elsewhere.
The Lakers just bet their entire future on Luka Doncic, and it might already be falling apart. Today, we're breaking down why the Lakers let go of almost their entire roster in one summer, why this went much deeper than a normal roster change, and the kind of players Luka Doncic specifically asked the front office to build around him. You'll see the bold moves the Lakers made to give Luka exactly what he asked for, and why the biggest gamble of this entire rebuild could either define the next era of Lakers basketball or become that decision that haunts the Lakers general manager for years. When you see exactly what the Lakers gave up to build this new roster, you'll understand that there's almost no room left to fix it if anything goes wrong. How do you go from LeBron James leading your team in the playoffs to him not even being on your roster 2 months later? It all traces back to the playoffs on May 12th, 2026. It was Game 4 of the second round against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That day, OKC beat the Lakers 115-110 to complete a 4-game sweep. SGA finished with 35 points. LeBron James finished with 24 and missed a layup in the final 40 seconds that could have changed the game. When it was over, OKC had gone 8-0 against the Lakers all season, including the regular season. The defending champions weren't just better, they were in a completely different class. After that game, LeBron tells reporters he didn't know what the future held. 6 weeks later, he made it clear. On June 30th, about 6 hours before teams could even start calling free agents, LeBron tells the Lakers he's leaving. 8 seasons in LA, a championship in 2020, and the all-time scoring record broken while wearing purple and gold. Everyone was shocked. At 41 years old last season, he still averaged 20.9 points, 7.2 assists, and 6.1 rebounds. He made the All-Star team and dragged the Lakers past Houston in the first round before Thunder swept them. Marcus Smart also declined the final year of his contract and signed with Houston. Luke Kennard, who'd become one of the most reliable shooters off the bench for the Lakers, also left. And Rui Hachimura, the forward who'd been quietly becoming one of the most efficient players on the roster, signed a 2-year, $28 million deal with the Clippers. That's 4 of the 5 starters from that Game 4 loss against OKC, all gone in one summer. Now, on the surface, it looks like a teardown, but every single one of these departures was deliberate because the Lakers weren't clearing space randomly. They were clearing space for a very specific plan. Every NBA team loses players in the offseason, but what happened in Los Angeles this summer was something different entirely. Think about what actually walked out the door. LeBron James, the franchise cornerstone for 8 years. Marcus Smart, the best perimeter defender on the roster. The guy assigned to the toughest matchup every single night. With Smart on the floor last season, the Lakers outscored opponents by 256 points. With him off it, they got outscored by 112. That kind of impact almost never shows up in a box score. Luke Kennard, their most reliable three-point shooter off the bench, and Rui Hachimura, their most efficient forward, a player who already knew the system and had built real chemistry with both of the team's primary creators. Now line those 4 up together and it stops looking like a normal offseason and starts looking like a complete teardown. But here's the thing. None of it happened by accident. Every single departure was connected to the same goal. Because once LeBron's exit cleared more than $50 million in cap space, well, now the Lakers finally had the financial room to build something they hadn't been able to build in years. This time, they chose to build a roster designed specifically around Luka Doncic. Before the Lakers spent a single dollar in free agency, Luka Doncic had already told them exactly what he needed. And the front office listened. When you land a player like Luka Doncic, keeping him happy becomes the whole job. Lucky for the Lakers, Luka wasn't shy about spelling that out. He had 4 specific things he wanted built around him. First, a high-level center who could work with him in the pick and roll. Luka had always made big men look unstoppable through that action. He needed someone who could set a screen, roll to the rim, and finish the lob at the other end. Second, perimeter defenders to cover him on the other end of the floor. Luka isn't known for his defense, and in a Western Conference with SGA, Steph Curry, and a handful of other elite guards, that becomes a real problem with the right personnel around him. Third, consistent three-point shooting to open up his passing lanes. Luka's game depends on driving and kicking to open shooters. Without spacing, defenses pack the paint and take away his best plays. And fourth, secondary scorers who could lighten his load on nights when the defense made him work for everything. That was the list. And once free agency opened, the Lakers had one goal: check off every single item on it. They did that in about 35 minutes on a Wednesday morning, and the move that towered over everything else was the one that addressed Luka's biggest need first. So, what exactly did the Lakers do with $50 million in cap space and a checklist from their franchise player? The centerpiece of everything was Walker Kessler. The Lakers worked out a sign and trade with the Utah Jazz, sending 2 future first-round picks in 2031 and 33, plus first-round pick swaps in 28 and 30, then signed Kessler to a 4-year, $130 million deal. That's a massive price for a 24-year-old center who missed most of last season with a shoulder injury and only has one full breakout season on his resume. But the Lakers aren't paying for who Kessler is today. They're paying for who they believe he becomes. Because when he's healthy, the case is easy to make. You see, in the 24-25 season, Kessler averaged 11.1 points on 66% shooting, pulled down 12.2 rebounds, and blocked 2.4 shots a night. He ranked at the 97th percentile in rim deterrence, the 99th in rim protection, and the 89th in screen assists across the entire league. He's exactly the kind of center Luka has always played his best basketball alongside. Elite at the pick and roll, punishes defense around the rim, and covers up the defensive lapses that have followed Luka his entire career. Luka makes him better. He makes Luka better. That fit is almost too clean. So with the backcourt thinned out after losing Smart and Kennard, the next move was Quentin Grimes on a 4-year, $60 million deal. Now Grimes averages 13.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.3 assists last season with the 76ers. He's not Marcus Smart on defense, but he brings youth, athleticism, and enough defensive flexibility to guard at the point of attack. He also already has chemistry with Luka, having played alongside him in Dallas, where they posted 120.7 points in 100 possessions together. Then we have Collin Sexton on a 2-year, $19 million deal. His one job is to keep the offense moving when Luka sits. Last season, Sexton averaged 15.4 points on 48.5% from the field and 39.3% from 3. He's a bucket getter who can create his own shot and space the floor. The Lakers finished near the bottom of the league in bench scoring last season. Sexton directly fixes that. He and Kessler also spent years together in Utah, so neither is starting from scratch. And to round out the front court, the Lakers signed Sandro Mamukelashvili to a 4-year, $52 million deal. When Kessler protects the rim and finishes around the basket, Mamukelashvili can shoot from the outside, attack closeouts, and create space on the floor for everyone around him. He shot 38.9% from 3 last season on career-high volume and averaged 11.2 points in 80 games. That combination of rim-running center in Kessler and a floor-spacing big in Mamukelashvili gives the Lakers 2 bigs on the floor at the same time, without clogging up the lane for Luka. Kessler at the rim, Grimes and Sexton on the perimeter, and Mamukelashvili stretching the floor. Every single move connects directly back to what Luka asked for, and on paper it looks exactly like the roster he needed. But the Lakers gave up a lot to build it, and if any part of this goes wrong, there's almost nothing left to fix it with. So the Lakers built exactly what Luka asked for, but the price they paid to do it has left him with almost no room to maneuver if anything goes wrong. Starting with Kessler, 2 future first-round picks in 2031 and 33, plus first-round swaps in 28 and 30, then $130 million over 4 years. That's an enormous commitment for a 24-year-old who has one full breakout season and one major shoulder surgery on his resume. And then add everything else. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Walker Kessler alone will cost the Lakers roughly $475 million over the coming years. Throw in Grimes, Sexton, and Mamukelashvili, and the Lakers have committed nearly all of the cap space that they spent the last 2 years building up, in one morning. And here's the part that makes the risk much bigger. The Lakers have no tradable first-round picks left. The only draft capital remaining is a 2032 pick swap and a 2033 second-rounder. That's it. If Kessler doesn't develop, if Grimes doesn't perform, if injuries hit, or even if Luka doesn't take the next step, the Lakers have almost nothing left to work with. No picks to offer in a trade for a better player, and no financial flexibility to chase a star. The margin for error is essentially zero. Look at the competition, and it gets even more uncomfortable. Oklahoma City and San Antonio both got better this offseason, while holding on to most of their future assets. Those franchises have young cores, draft capital, and flexibility. The Lakers went all in, while both of their biggest rivals in the West kept their options open. This is Rob Pelinka's first roster built entirely without LeBron James. Every decision runs through Luka now, and it all hinges on one question. Is Walker Kessler the elite defensive anchor they're betting $130 million in 4 first-round assets on? If the answer is yes, well, this offseason could define the next decade of Lakers basketball. But if it's no, they'll be paying the price for a very long time. This is not the same Los Angeles Lakers. The roster is younger, deeper, and built with a much clearer purpose than anything they put together in the LeBron era. Whether that turns out to be the smartest reset the franchise has seen in years, or the gamble that defines Rob Pelinka's career, they start getting answers in October.